Over the course of the last decade, when Franklin's Hockomock foe Taunton has met the Panthers, it's been pure domination from Franklin. But tonight, in this Hockomock matchup, the Tigers come in as an upset-minded squad. Welcome in to the Franklin High Gymnasium alongside Nippon Goyle. I'm Sam Reese. Nippon, it's great to be with you once again. And I'll tell you what, you look at it on paper over the years, it's usually a win for Franklin when it faces Taunton. But this time around, the record suggests maybe we could get a good one tonight.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better, Sam. Great to be with you. The roles seem to be reversed here tonight. Taunton coming in with their best start since 2006 at a staggering 6-0. Whereas the Panthers coming in at 1-3 are looking to get back into the groove we used to see them in years past. Taunton not having a winning season in the past 10 years, not having won more than 7 games. They can match that total with a win tonight. This should be a great and very important early season Hockomock League matchup.
Just 6 games into the season, the Tigers already have more wins than they had in the entirety of last season. The Panthers already have more Hockomock losses too than it had in the entirety of last season, which was 1 right off the tip-off. Taunton wins it, and the lefty layup good from Taryn Campbell, who was the leading scorer last time out for the Tigers in their win against New Bedford on Wednesday. Right off the bat, Taunton making some noise.
Yeah, right off the face-off. That's a good tip to find an open teammate. Franklin needs to respond early.
Malamina finds Chloe Fales, who kicks to the left corner. Open 3 from McCallum off the back iron. Offensive board by Fales, who sends it out to the left wing with Nora McCallum. We'll get to the starting lineups in a moment as Lena Malamina moves it to the right wing with Sasha Tracy. Swung back to the near side with McCallum down low to the baseline. It's a nice move by Kira McSweeney, who lays it in for 2, and we're all square.
Yeah, good start from Kira McSweeney. Entered the game last time around for Franklin a bit early on, had to play more than expected due to the injury from Elliot Bonacci, and she stepped into quite a nice role here for Franklin. Nice fake and the finish.
Yes, so Kira McSweeney is that one new starter from Tuesday's loss to South High School. Sasha Tracy, Chloe Fales, Nora McCallum, and Lena Malamina making up the rest of the starting 5 as that layup's too strong from Chelsea Bousquet. Franklin counters the other way. Tracy sends it to the corner. McSweeney pulls up from downtown. It's off the top of the backboard, still in play. Taunton head coach Gretchen Rodriguez claiming it was out of bounds, no call, and now the Tigers counter the other way. Brought ahead by Callie Mello, who led the team with more than 11 points per game last season. And into the lane goes Taryn Campbell. She's fouled on the floor. And just quickly, upon getting to the Taunton lineup, it's Taryn Campbell, Chelsea Bousquet, Jillian Doherty, Lexi Haywood, and Callie Mello making up the starting 5.
Yeah, a lot of talent you can see on this Taunton squad. A lot of experienced players who have played varsity for a couple of years. Is banking a shot right there as a Tiger.
And it's Taryn Campbell who does it again. She's just a sophomore, but she's been big time this season already. Led the team with a game-high 18 points in Taunton's victory the other night. The Tigers lead it 4-2, just about 100 seconds in. Chloe Fales, pump fake drive down the right alley and draws the foul on Jillian Doherty. The first free throws of the game coming up.
Yeah, nice take by Chloe Fales getting in on Jillian Doherty. Taunton, Doherty will be a key player for them. Won the Hockomock League Player of the Week this week. One of the key reasons why they're off to such a good start.
And at the line, the first free throw off the mark from Chloe Fales. Jillian Doherty, going off of what you were saying, she was actually limited last season with a shoulder injury, but she's back better than ever, and that has been evident. And on the second free throw, a lane violation called on Taunton. The shot went in nonetheless. Or rather, they wave it off, I believe, Nippon. So the lane violation must have been against the Panthers, yes.
Yeah, interesting.
And a timeout called by Taunton head coach Gretchen Rodriguez as Franklin applied that full court pressure. Already a fun start to this one, Nippon.
Yeah, very competitive. It should be a good one. We're in the making for a good one. Interesting early timeout by Coach Rodriguez. You don't see that very often. And let's dive a little bit more into her backstory, as she has really changed the culture here at Taunton High School. Her second year as a head coach, coming in as a graduate from New Bedford High School. She seems like a force to be reckoned with, Sam.
That's right. You can just tell she's a motivated coach. Already in her second season, we're already seeing a lot of progress within this program. You mentioned it, the best start at 6-0 since 2006, and Rodriguez comes from a great basketball background. You mentioned she played at New Bedford, was the all-time leading scorer. She still is for the program. She had 1,391 points, graduated in 2003. She also played on the soccer and lacrosse team in Nepean, and she holds the lacrosse all-time record for points and goals. How about that?
How about that? We have ourselves an athlete right here. And I was talking to her before the game about what this game means to this Taunton team coming in, never having beaten Franklin before. And she said, well, this year, we've really instilled in our players the belief that they can win games like these. It wasn't there before. They haven't had a winning season in the past 10 years. But this year, there's something different about this team.
It definitely seems that way early on as Campbell gets fouled on the layup attempt by Chloe Fales. She'll head to the line, and she has all 4 Taunton points so far.
Yeah, great start for her. Very aggressive. You can tell she wants to get to the basket early, able to draw the foul. And because of these fouls, it looks like we'll have a Panther off the bench ready to check in.
And the first free throw is money from Taryn Campbell. And there is the substitution. Sasha Tracy comes out for Franklin, and that's Kaylee Fernandez, the lone freshman who checks in for the Panthers, the lone underclassman on the team, as a matter of fact, outside of a couple swing JV players. Second free throw didn't go, and the rebound secured by the Panthers.
Yeah, it's an excellent play by Malamina right there. Doherty got the offensive rebound, but she was able to swat away and get the ball back for Franklin.
Here is Fernandez with her first touch of the game, out to Kira McSweeney. Up to Nora McCallum, who drives inside, and she's rejected by Jillian Doherty.
Yeah, she says, I'll do you one better. Got the worst end of that on the offensive side, but she comes right back and gets the possession for Taunton.
And look at this, quick ball movement up the floor, just a couple passes, and the finish by Doherty, who had the block at one end and the finish at the other.
Caught the Panthers sleeping. They'll have to respond early here.
Kira McSweeney corrals that outlet pass. She drives inside, the layup too strong, and the Tigers go the other way. Taunton leads at 7-2, just about 3 minutes in. Down at the right block, Doherty puts it up and gets the roll. It's 9-2, the Tigers lead. The Tigers bench is fired up as John Layton calls a timeout for Franklin.
Yeah, what a run we're seeing right here from Taunton. I believe it's 7-0 unanswered after Franklin tied it up initially. And we're seeing some of the problems we saw with this Franklin team against South High just a couple of days ago, not getting back in transition, which are leading to a lot of these open chances inside the paint and near the basket. We'll hope that Coach Layton talks to his team and tries to tighten that up right now.
So 5:10 left in the opening quarter. 9-2, Taunton leads Franklin. Just going over the Tigers' season so far, Nepean, for those tuning in who are unfamiliar with exactly how they've gotten off to this 6-0 start. They won pretty handedly against Sharon, North Attleboro, and Canton to get their Hockomock slate started in a good way. And then they played in a holiday tournament where they had 2 one-possession wins against Holliston and Durfee before taking down New Bedford in another non-league game on Wednesday.
Yeah, really showing you all the different ways they can win. They can blow you out. They can win tight games. It's been, you couldn't ask for a better start from this Taunton team. And it's something that we didn't expect coming into the season out of a team that Franklin has really had their way with for the better part of this decade.
The Tigers averaging 63 points a game, Franklin under 40. When was I don't think that's ever happened before, where Taunton is averaging 23 more points a game than the Panthers when these two square off. We're back underway. Kaylee Fernandez takes it to the right corner and finds McCallum along the perimeter. Swung around by Malamina to Fales. Top of the key, McCallum returns it to Fales. Over to Malamina, quick release. It's off the back iron.
Yeah, interesting zone defense looked like from Taunton right there, really giving Franklin some problems.
Callie Mello feeds it inside, quick release, and a foul called. Doherty heading to the line for the Tigers.
Another textbook offensive play right there. Mello, the high find, and Doherty able to sneak behind the Franklin defense. A nice cut and a nice catch to corral in the high pass and draw the foul.
And I do believe that foul was against Fales, so she is up to 2. It's nothing but net on the first shot from the charity stripe for Doherty.
Yeah, early foul trouble for Franklin here, Sam. Tracy already out of the game with 2 fouls and now Fales, one of Franklin's best players, with 2 fouls. So Franklin with 4 fouls early in this one.
That will definitely be something to keep an eye out for going forward, as Doherty missed the second. It's 10-2 Taunton. Inside goes Fails. A lot of contact, no foul. And seems like half of both teams on the floor. Finally, it sprung ahead into the front court, and a wide open layup is knocked down by Jillian Doherty. Meanwhile, at the other end of the floor, Kira McSweeney clearly shaken up, and Coach Layton is screaming at the official to stop play as trainer Jen comes out to meet McSweeney. A lot of players taking some hard falls onto the hardwood in Nepean.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see. Franklin had some issues with injuries last game as well. El Bonacci had to go out, another player going out. So Franklin's playing hard. It's just that they're getting a lot of looks the wrong way. Hopefully McSweeney is all right as she heads to the bench.
Fails, tiptoeing the sideline, gets a pass ahead to Claire Lakota, getting her first minutes. Wide open look, Fails, can't convert. Offensive board by the Panthers. That was Sophie Pacheco, who's getting her first minutes as well. So a lot of rotation early on from the Panthers. Swing pass by McCallum. Fernandez with a pump fake, kicks it out to the corner. And Pacheco finds Fails, who's guarded by Bousquet. Only just past halfway through the shot clock, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touched by Sophie Pacheco, a turnover for the Panthers.
Yeah, and this rotating lineup, as you said, Sam, is one of the reasons why we haven't been able to see Franklin get into a groove. It's already hard enough when you're having almost a completely new starting lineup than you had last year. Of course, 4 Franklin starters last year graduating. And now Coach Layton said pregame, we have 7 or 8 players that are dealing with injuries or other reasons why they can't play. You know, it's hard to get on the same page with all these different players.
Taunton returned the favor with a turnover of its own. And Claire Lakota gives it right back to the Tigers. She traveled along the perimeter.
Yeah, a lot of the same issues we're seeing here. Turnovers on the offensive end and then not able to get back on the defensive side. Franklin will really need to lock in if they want to stay in this game early here.
Absolutely, and one of the starters, Kira McSweeney, who went down with an injury moments ago, as that deep two is converted by the Tigers. That's Callie Mello, who becomes the 3rd scorer of the game for Taunton. McSweeney, it appears as though she suffered a cut to her head looking over at the sideline. She's definitely bleeding a bit, having that worked on. We hope she's okay. We'll keep an eye on her status as the night progresses. Sasha Tracy launches from the corner, in and out, and the rebound secured by Taryn Campbell. Brought into the front court by Doherty. 2:30 left in the opening quarter. 14-2, Taunton leads. 3 ball on the way. That's misfired on the attempt by Mia Torres. Coach John Layton for Franklin yelling, slow down. Panthers just got to take a breather here and set up. Tracy drives inside, foul on the way up.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the ways Franklin can get back in this game right here. Take it to the paint, get those looks that are close to the rim, and Tracy does just that, earns herself a trip to the free throw line.
So Jillian Doherty called for the foul there, Nepean, and that is her 2nd foul. She leads the team with 7 points early on in this one.
And Coach Rodriguez clearing some things up as see players head to the bench for some reason. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like there was maybe some leftover blood from when McSweeney went down. I think that's what's happening, Nepean.
Wow, this is the first time I've seen something like that in a high school game.
Right.
Usually you see that in the NBA where you have the mops on the baselines, but wow, it's just really evident of how physical this game has been early on.
It's been a battle, and how about this start for Taunton? 14-2, the Tigers in front. They're off to a 6-0 start to their season. Franklin, on the other hand, 1-3. Again, it's not as dominant of a Franklin team as we've been accustomed to, but Coach Layton still wanting to trust the process here. He admitted that it's still the early stages of the season. He's confident that his team will evolve as the season goes on.
Absolutely. He said you can't reinvent the wheel. You just have to make it better and improve the process as it goes around. And that's what they're trying to do with this team right here. Franklin and Taunton both in the Kelly Rex division. This game could be huge down the line in determining whether Franklin can hold on to its dominance in that division title space.
Now, coming into the season, it still felt like Franklin is the favorite to win its 6th straight Kelly Rex division title, but all of a sudden that being put into question by some competitors like this Taunton team. First free throw knocked down by Tracy as we're back underway.
Yeah, it's a much-needed point right there. Just seeing the ball go through the net maybe can help spark this Franklin offense right here. That's one. One might be all it takes to open the floodgates.
Elena Malamina just checked in for Sophie Pacheco. And Tracy makes it 2 for 2. She was the leading scorer in Tuesday's loss to New Bedford with just 9 points, though. No double-digit score in that defeat for the Panthers as it's moved inside. Too strong off the glass by Doherty. The putback won't go from Campbell. And along the baseline, it's last touch by Taunton.
Yep, good hustle by Franklin right there, getting the ball back in these final 2 minutes. These are going to be crucial minutes, Sam.
Crucial indeed. 14-4. Taunton has the lead. And the lack of offensive production has been an issue for the Panthers in this young season. Fails. Skip pass out to Tracy. Three-pointer on the way. That's off to the right by Lakota. And a collision there between two teammates. Good. Hate to see that. Fernandez and Tracy collided. It's a 5-on-3 in favor of Taunton. But play continues, and understandably so. Taunton had every right to carry on as Taryn Campbell lays it in for 2. And it's injuries galore. You hate to see it for the Panthers here.
Yeah, the Panthers just can't catch a break, Sam. It seems like every other possession, there's either a Panther down on the ground or slow to get up, and we have one more right here. You got to hope she's okay. Couldn't quite get the player that's on the ground right now. We'll identify her in a bit.
Yeah, we will need confirmation, but I do think it's Kaylee Fernandez. We'll check that. She, as mentioned earlier, she's the only underclassman fully on this varsity roster now. Lila Reagan is a sophomore who's a swing player, not officially on the roster, but we did see her packed on a team that's full of upperclassmen. She's one of the few inexperienced players on the squad, and she certainly brings a lot of skill to that backcourt, getting meaningful playing time for the Panthers, and we hope she's all right.
Yeah, it's got to mean something if you're the only freshman on the varsity team and you're getting meaningful minutes, as Fernandez does. So it's a huge loss to Franklin. She's still on the ground. Wishing her all the best.
Yeah, she's clutching that right ankle area, as trainer Jen has certainly had her work cut out in the opening minutes of this one. Always appreciate Jen Edmonds' hard work, longtime athletic trainer for the Panthers. And as the lights flicker on here up in the second level on the track where we're situated, we could use that extra light for our notes as Fernandez hobbles off to the sideline, and we hope she's okay.
Yeah, she'll take a seat to the bench, accompanied by trainer Jen and her ever so busy corner right over there.
And Kira McSweeney, she had to get a backup uniform. She's putting on a second jersey because I assume there was blood on that original one.
Talk about battle scars, Sam.
Wow. We're back underway with a couple of injuries for the Panthers. We'll keep an eye on that. That's picked off by Callie Mello. Flying in transition. The layup won't go. She was closed down by Fales, and it's off of the Tigers.
Yep. Good possession by Fales, able to make back. Did up on the ground, but had a good contest to alter the shot. Franklin trying to do something here in these final 90 seconds.
And the quick pass into the front court picked off. It was intended for Tracy, but Campbell was all over it. Mello, the foot was on the line. It rims out. Offensive board by Aaliyah Year, who's getting her first minutes of the night. Out to Haywood, who passes inside. The layup, good. Jillian Doherty up to 9 points.
Yeah, she is phenomenal in the paint, Sam, right there. That was a low pass that time, still able to corral it in, and then immediately elevate for the basket.
And Taunton just staying aggressive, Napon, but a little too aggressive that time as Callie Mellows whistled for the foul, and she's replaced by Chelsea Bousquet.
Yeah, they're always looking for a free throw right there as I believe that is McSweeney, who just checked in for Franklin wearing the number 14, Sam. I might be mistaken. Okay.
You are correct. She has a patch over her left eye, which cleaned up that blood. She's a warrior, and that makes sense. At the high school level, you probably don't have two jerseys of the same number. So she is wearing 14 back in there for the Panthers. Right wing three, too strong from Fales, and a battle for the rebound. It's a tie-up between Sasha Tracy and Jillian Doherty.
Yeah, gotta credit Tracy for the effort right there. She earns a possession back for Franklin as the possession arrow is to the Panthers. And right now, Franklin in these final 37.3 seconds will just look for any basket to get them going.
Pass, and the shot is money. Lena Malamina with the quick release and gets her first 2 points.
Yeah, soft touch. It was contested, but she was able to get it to go.
A wild shot there from Taryn Campbell off the mark. Panthers counter the other way, and it's tipped out of bounds by Mia Torres. She deflected it off of Tracy. What a hustle play by Mia Torres, the sophomore.
Yeah, able to really just get her way back there, almost like a football safety, and just extend to make the play. That's a great hustle by Torres. She was fired up, and rightfully so.
And I'll tell you what, I was reading the Hockomock girls basketball preview, and for Taunton, it said Mia Torres, she brings speed and energy on defense, and that was on full display right there. And Tracy is pounced on from behind by Taryn Campbell. That is a foul.
Yeah, again, just the number of fouls in this game are evident of how physical it's been. 4 for each side now, and now 9 seconds left. One more shot for Franklin. This is a huge possession.
Massive possession, to say the least. The Panthers trail 18-6. Sasha Tracy taking her time. She gets over the timeline with 3 seconds on the clock, and she doesn't know. She passes it off to the left wing, and the shot way too late from Chloe fails. That's just a situational moment in the pond where Tracy didn't seem to have enough urgency considering the time on the clock.
Yeah, got to be better in situations like that, knowing how much time is left on there. Tracy didn't seem to be aware, and that's a missed opportunity by Franklin to cut this lead down right now. Could have been worse as we head into the second. Franklin was down pretty heavily at some point. Still a hefty margin, down 12, but you got to credit them for not giving up and fighting.
Absolutely. So 8 minutes in the books, 18-6, the lead for Taunton. Again, this is a different Tigers and different Panthers team than we've been accustomed to over the years. In fact, I know you were talking to Taunton's coach, Gretchen Rodriguez, and we could only trace it back so far that Franklin has never lost to Taunton in Hockomock play, but she just said in the history of both programs, Taunton has never taken down Franklin, so we could be looking at potential history tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, I was asking her the question. She said, yeah, that was on my mind too, because it's only my second season coaching this team, so I was asking around trying to find out, and everyone I talked to said never. So
right.
We could be on the brink of a really historic moment here, and maybe a milestone turning point for this Taunton basketball program.
No doubt about that, and as we get the second quarter underway, I'm excited to toss things off to you for the play-by-play in the pond.
Thank you so much, Sam Reese. We'll start off here in the second quarter. Low pass and a slip right there. A turnover right away. The pass was from Taryn Campbell to her teammate. It looked like to be Callie Mello, was unable to keep it in bounds, and the Franklin Panthers got a gift early in the second here.
If the Panthers can come out at the start of the second quarter with a lot of energy, that could go a long way and get them on a much-needed run.
Tracy right there trying to inbound it to her teammate on the baseline to flex off a Tiger. Franklin will keep possession here. Second quarter just underway. The Panthers trailing 18-6. Looking to make a run here and get back in this thing. Fails to inbound on the baseline. Long pass. It's taken in by McSweeney. Gets to Malamina on the near side. Nice crossover to the basket, and she left it just short. Did everything but make the basket right there. Taunton comes the other way. Pulling up a jump shot, Mello, and she gets it to go. Callie Mello, she's taken a couple of those long jumpers so far, and she's been pure on them.
You're right, both shots she's made from straight away, and that's just a smooth shot from Mello. You can tell she practices in the gym a lot.
Taunton leads at 20-6. McSweeney trying to change that. Fails at the top of the key. Fails, takes it herself, gets the contact, and she will head to the line for 2 shots. Another deliberate drive by Chloe Fails, just unable to get the basket.
And Fails went 0 for 2 on her first trip to the line, so trying to amend that here with a couple more free throws.
First one goes for Chloe Fails. As checking out of the game for the Tigers is Lexi Haywood. Entering for her is Aliyah Year. Fails, misses the second, and the rebound goes to Callie Mello. Mello trying to quarterback this offense right here. Tracy moves in on her. Mello takes it herself. Swing pass deflected away by Fales and taken from Franklin. Trying to keep it on the baseline. She dribbles it off the foot of a Tiger and gets it to Franklin.
Honestly, a smart move there by Fales. If you're cornered there along the baseline, why not just throw it off of the opposing player? And Franklin just needs to settle down here, have some smart offensive possessions, get to the hoop, maybe earn some trips to the line if those shots aren't falling.
Still a lot of time left in the thing as McSweeney gets it, and she's rejected by Doherty. Throws the ball in frustration. It's been that type of night for Franklin so far, and now they have to get a player in to inbound it. Fales calls the break, looking for a teammate. McSweeney was cutting. She gets it to Tracy on the corner. Tracy got some contact, and as he said, Sam, driving inside, getting those fouls, and another trip to the free throw line for Franklin.
Yep, second foul on Mello. And it's not just getting to the line and getting some points that way, but also maybe putting some Taunton key players in foul trouble as we get towards halftime. And Tracy also a great free throw shooter. And I'm glad I didn't jinx her right there.
Yeah, you were on the deck right there, on the chopping block, Sam. But
I was.
Able to survive as Tracy swishes the first one. Knocks down the second as well. And Franklin has cut the lead to 11. It's 9-20.
Tracy 4 for 4 at the line now.
Doherty enters the Franklin half. Player thought about the three, and it looked like she took it too many steps while thinking about it. Franklin having an opening right here to try and claw their way back into this thing. About a minute and a half into the second quarter. Nora McCallum has it. Back to Tracy. Tracy and McCallum play the two-Panther game. Fales is open. She pulls a three, and it's just short. Malmina trying to track it down, but it goes right to a Tiger. And that is Grace Bennett, I believe. And now Mello. Pulling up for three, and hitting! Chelsea Bousquet with the corner three. And the Tigers lead it by 14. Franklin trying to answer. Fails. Nice pass to McSweeney. Almost got the three-point play. Coach Rodriguez wanted to travel on that, but she will not get it. Instead, the Panthers have some more free throws. McSweeney still staying on there, of course. Took a blow to her head early in this game. You got to credit her for staying in there and fighting, and she'll try to get some more points for Franklin right here.
Absolutely. You got to love her mentality. You know, a little cut, that doesn't faze her. Right back in after she got patched up. New jersey. She's now wearing 14 because her normal 24 jersey got some blood on it. You got to love coaching players like that if you're head coach John Layton.
For sure. Lexi Haywood comes back in the game for Taunton. Bousquet, who just hit that three, will take a seat on the bench. As missing both right there is McSweeney, but nice fight by Tracy, able to earn another possession for Franklin.
And it felt like in that first quarter, Taunton was easily winning all of those rebounds, but now in those 50-50 balls, Franklin making some noise and not making it as easy for the Tigers.
Fails, pitches it wide to McCallum. McCallum down to McSweeney. Franklin trying to get some motion down low in the paint. McCallum out to Fales. Now Tracy thought about the three, instead drives inside. Nice Euro step with the bank, can't get it to go. Her own rebound is blocked. A good possession by Franklin. It's loose on the ground. Tracy dives, and it's finally scooped up by Alexi Haywood. Tracy got a foot in there.
Wow.
Coach Rodriguez's eye rate on the other end. Doherty with a bank shot, no good. What fast action we have here in the second. Malmina out to Fales at the top of the key. Nice fake. Fails herself, and she draws another foul. Franklin, really, that's all they're doing right now. Driving inside, getting these free throws, and doing anything they can to put some points on the board.
Wow. Yeah, we got to take our breath for a moment in the pond because that was some epic back and forth action. Now for Franklin, they're doing a really good job of getting to the line. It's about converting those chances now, as Fales did there on her first free throw.
Fales switches the first one. No fouls for Franklin here in the second. Already 4 for Taunton, which could play a role here in the second half of the second quarter. as we enter the bonus stage. Missing the first one right there, and there is the first Franklin foul called on Lena Malmina. Kaylee Fernandez checks back in for Franklin. That's a good sign to see after looked like she was down for a while with a scary ankle injury. So again, Franklin with some heart and hustle. Their players down but not out fighting in this game. Fumbled right there by Taunton, and another turnover. The Tigers not able to establish an offensive rhythm right here in the second. McCallum back to Fales. Julia Atwood also in the game for Franklin. She tries to get through. Fales at the top of the key. No hesitation. Pulls for three, and she hits. Chloe Fales a big strike, and the Panthers are within 10.
That's got to feel good for Fales, the first Franklin three of the game.
Haywood trying to respond, can't do so. Fight for the rebound in the hands of McSweeney. No, that's Fernandez, excuse me. Goes to the ground again, and another foul. The bench applauding the Franklin efforts. Taunton getting a little frustrated, and it'll be more free throws for Franklin.
Yeah, wow. Franklin already in the bonus because that's the 5th team foul this quarter from Taunton. We're not even halfway through the quarter. All of a sudden, you can feel the momentum shifting the pond despite Franklin still facing a 10-point deficit.
Fernandez trying to cut the lead to single digits, and she does right there with that first free throw. Nothing but net. More rotations for Taunton right here. Mia Torres, one of those substitutes. And a big reason for these ever-changing rotations is the foul trouble the Tigers find themselves in. Fernandez gets both, and we have ourselves an 8-point game. Here is Chelsea Bousquet, a little stutter step as she enters the zone. Now they get it to Doherty. Doherty trying to go to work in the post. Instead, she kicks it out. Torres thought about the three. Down low to go to Haywood. She has a mismatch. Oh, what a shot by Haywood. Gets the English and the roll to fall in.
That was beautifully done. The underhand scoop, and it somehow dropped in.
Corner three for McSweeney. She left a little too strong. Rebound tracked down by Jillian Doherty. The Tigers back to a 10-point lead with a little less than 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Torres looking for a cutting Haywood. This time she goes down to the ground. Ran into McCallum, and she is now slow to get up. And the Taunton players calling for more attention. Trainer Jen right there to check in on her, as is Coach Rodriguez.
Yeah, we hope she's all right in the pond. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of how this game has played out. I mean, really every possession, both teams bringing that physicality. It's been intense. It's been some bully ball near the paint. And we saw a couple of injuries in the opening quarter for Franklin, now one for Taunton. It's just the nature of how this one has played out in the pond.
Yeah, it's been a very physical game. Teams combining for 8 fouls in the first period, already at 7 here with still 3:45 to play in the second. Haywood still down. Really hope that she's okay. Holding her head, it seems like. It was a fast collision. Was kind of pinned between a Panther and then Norma McCallum running in the other direction, trying to make a play on the ball.
Yeah, it looked like she was tripped, and then maybe her head hit the knee of another Franklin player. That's at least what it appeared like in real time, but never want to speculate, of course.
Of course.
Trainer Jen is once again called into action on maybe one of her busiest nights of the year so far.
Absolutely. Well, 2 other members who have been busy today are our officials for today. We have Mike Adler and Mike Brennan making a lot of foul calls in this game so far. They're really getting their money's worth.
They are.
And now another stoppage for Franklin and Taunton. Both teams to really recollect themselves and get things going. For Taunton, they've had some nice shots go in, a 3 and a 2. Able to, do something on the offensive end, but it hasn't looked pretty at times. They've turned it over quite a bit. Franklin, on the other end, just trying to establish a rhythm for themselves. They've tried to do that by the free throw line.
Yeah, that's exactly right. In fact, I'm counting up the amount of free throws Franklin has had, and I believe there's been 14 free throw attempts for the Panthers in this one, and they have gone let me do quick math. 8 for 14 at the line. Not terrible, but obviously in a game like this where you're playing from behind, and I would assume there's going to be more of those trips at the line, that's an area where they'll need to do a little bit better, and if they want to come back.
Haywood slowly getting off with help from trainer Jen. Really hope that she is okay. And yeah, that's an astounding stat right there, Sam. 14 free throw attempts and 15 points for Franklin, and then 8 makes. So over half of Franklin's points coming way up the free throw line.
Right.
So
in fact, yeah, just 3 field goals converted by the Panthers. McSweeney and Malamina made a couple of shots, and then that fails 3. Those are the only field goals converted by the Panthers today.
How about that? So Bousquet inbounding it on the baseline for Taunton. Gets it down low to Doherty. Doherty, quick turn, the shot, and the bucket. Another textbook play from Jillian Doherty. She's in double figures. And the Tigers lead by 12, 27-15. Franklin on the other end. This is Fernandez, back to McCollum. Fails, hit a 3 earlier, faked the 3, now steps inside, contested jumper, swish. Chloe fails, getting into a rhythm right here. Maybe she can be the spark the Franklin offense needs. And then fumbled out of bounds right there is Bousquet. Looked like she was trying to corral it in and just slipped out of her hands, and Franklin has another possession.
Yeah, and Franklin wants to keep playing at that up-tempo. Chloe Fales was looking for one of the officials to get the ball in play, and now she does.
McSweeney found herself open for a moment. Moving in on her as a Tiger. Gets the foul, and they call an offensive foul. McSweeney flabbergasted as to what happened, but the official, Mike Adler, saw an extension of the arm right there, and Franklin gives it up just as quick.
Yeah, in real time, there didn't seem to be a whole lot in there. I would say play on, but McSweeney called for the offensive foul indeed.
Franklin applying a press right there. It tips the ball away, but it goes right to Bousquet. Bousquet to the basket, can't bank it in. Rebound goes to Atwood. Entering the final 3 minutes of the first half, Franklin looking to claw themselves back. Fails is open at the top of the key. Pulls for 3. No good. Rebound. It's loose. McSweeney trying to track it down. She's called for a second foul in less than a minute. Slams the ball.
She's teed
and
up.
I think we have a technical. We do. McSweeney needs to get her emotions under control. We already saw her slam the basketball against the wall previously in this quarter. Now, out of frustration, slamming it down. And Coach Layton is irate. Coach Rodriguez is irate. It seems like no one is happy with the way this game has been called tonight.
Right. I think everyone needs to take a deep breath here. And you can see Kira McSweeney's teammates just telling her to calm down a little bit. We talked about that great competitive spirit she has. But sometimes if you're that much of a competitor, those emotions can take over. And you don't want that to take over too much to the point where it's costing the team. And yeah, you're right. Taunton coach Gretchen Rodriguez, she's furious about something, and I don't know what, because the technical was called against McSweeney. Okay, she was just sorting out who gets to take that technical free throw, because if I'm not mistaken, the rule is you can choose any
player.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. And I think also on top of that, after that foul, Taunton might be in the double bonus right here, Sam.
Yes.
So there might be more free throws coming on the way. That might be some of the determination that they're making right here as Coach Layton calls all of his teammates in a huddle right there, probably just to talk to them, regain their composure, get their mind in the right spirit.
Right. So, yeah, it'll be Aaliyah Year taking these free throws for the technical.
So she misses the technical free throw, and I believe she will have 2 more as a result of Taunton being in the bonus. We'll check in on that. This is the second, so never mind. It might have been.
Okay, it's just possession.
Yeah, just possession. All right. So Taunton misses both free throws. They'll have the ball back right here, which has been a sloppy, physical first half. A lot of stoppages, a lot of whistles, to say the least.
Yeah. Who knows how long these last 3 minutes of the half will take, Napon.
Yeah. Bousquet has it right now. In the corner she goes. Trying to enter it to Doherty. Still loose. Still scrum for it. And now it just goes wide for Taryn Campbell. It seems like no team right now, Sam, can just, get in that right rhythm.
No, there's been no sort of rhythm. You're absolutely right in the second quarter. There hasn't been really one sequence of player possession
Absolutely
where
not.
it's felt like, okay, there's something that's going. It's been a lot of stoppages, a lot of giveaways.
So Franklin, despite this, is still within 10 as Fales looked like she may have taken steps. Rodriguez was kicking her feet, asking for a foul. Instead, McCallum for three. No good off the rim. And the rebound to Doherty. Fernandez tried to get it away. Instead, it's Torres out to Busquet as we enter the final 2 minutes of this interesting first half, to say the least. Ryan enters to Doherty. Another turnover. My goodness.
Yeah.
Whether it's a lack of execution on the Taunton side or just great defense being played by Franklin, the Tigers have really found it hard to score here.
I definitely think it's been a mixture of both. Franklin has stepped it up and has gained some confidence in a more competitive second quarter, but Taunton has seemed to have lost its composure in the same breath.
Tracy dishes it back out to McCallum. McCallum puts it down, takes it herself. Almost got the bounce. It's no good. But she's able to fight back and get the steal. Wow. Franklin really giving it their all on the defensive side right here. Fernandez gets it taken away just as quick. Trying to make a play, and a foul called. Taryn Campbell. And frustration is starting to show on both ends. It's been showing on both ends for a couple of minutes now, but Campbell will be at the line shooting too.
Yeah, the emotions on full display, to say the least, and we should mention that's foul number 3 on Chloe Fales as she was trying to draw the charge. You always take that gamble trying to set yourself in time. The official said she was still moving there.
Fales, one of the real players for Franklin who has been able to create shots for herself and make them. So Panthers will have to be careful looking into that going into the second half. Campbell had a hot start, misses the second. Rebound goes to Franklin and Fernandez. Taunton up by 11. They led by 12 at the end of one. Fernandez in the corner to Tracy. Tees up a three. No good. Rebound to Campbell. Campbell turns, hands it off to Busquet. And she'll survey her options right here. Moving into the far wing now, Torres. Torres with some speed, and she draws another foul. Wow. The whistle was tight, I'll tell you that tonight. Any contact, it seems like both Mikes will not be afraid to stop the play.
Right, in a game where it's already physical, it could be a little frustrating at times because, again, there's been no sort of momentum or rhythm in the second quarter in particular.
Well, the Tigers have had their fair share of opportunities, but like Franklin, failed to convert all of them, and that's kind of left an opening in this game for Franklin still as Torres misses the first. And the second rims out as well. Franklin still only down by 11 as we enter the final minute of the first half. Fernandez was open for a moment. Now Malmina spins inside. Cross-court pass nearly taken away, but Tracy able to corral it in the corner goes wide open. Fernandez, 3-2, strong. Franklin's had a couple of those open looks right there, still can't convert. Now Busquet slows it down. 33 on the game clock, 23 on the shot clock. An attempt at a layup right there is deflected away. Leaves an open lane for a Tiger, no good. And the Panthers get it right back. Shot clock is turned off. Panthers with a chance to end the half on a good note. Fernandez bears inside, has an open lane, has the layup. Kaylee Fernandez for two. Franklin needs to get back up defensively, 10 seconds left. Bounce to Campbell with 5 on the shot clock. Campbell pulls for 3, and she can't bank it in. Rebound goes to Fernandez, and that will do it for the first half. Wow. We have had some sort of first half here in Franklin right there, and after all that action, Sam, the Panthers still within double digits. It's 19-28 after 16 minutes. The Panthers are not out of it yet.
Not by any means, Napon. In fact, Franklin outscored Taunton in the second frame by 3 points. That has to give Franklin some confidence heading into the second half of play. An opportunity for both teams to regroup, but you're right. This one's far from over. We have a single-digit game, folks.
Yeah, it should be an interesting second half. Based on the first half we saw, we can only imagine how much more physical and demanding this game can get. We'll take a break, step aside for about 10 minutes here on Franklin TV. Do not go anywhere. We've
the
got a
popcorn out.
fantastic finish in hand for you and a huge early season Hockomock League matchup. Don't go anywhere. Well, we welcome you back here on Franklin TV, and what has been a really interesting match between two of the teams who might be competing for a Kelly Rex Division title here in 2024. Alongside Sam Reese, I'm the Pond Goyle. And Sam, this has been an interesting matchup. Two teams playing really physical, really close, and we should be in for a fun second half.
We really should be. In fact, speaking on that physical play, Napon, there's a number of players with 3 fouls. For Taunton, Callie Mello has 3 fouls. For Franklin, Lena Malamina and Kira McSweeney have 3. That'll be something to keep an eye on.
We'll track that as the second half starts. The play-by-play is yours, Sam.
Thanks so much, Napon. Buckle in, folks, for the second half. 6-0, off to its best start since 2006. Pump fake on the right wing by McSweeney, who picks up her dribble. Bounce pass up top for McCallum, who fakes, passes it down to the right block, and the layup too strong from Chloe fails.
Yeah, Franklin did everything right that possession, Sam, just not the finishing. Great ball movement. They need to just do a better job.
And a rare miss from Callie Mello on a mid-range pull-up, and a scoop from a tough angle won't go for Doherty. Another offensive board, 3 ball, left short on the attempt by Bousquet. Franklin has numbers going forward. McSweeney leading the charge, and the layup no good, but a foul called on Mia Torres.
Yeah, Torres really snuck up from behind right there, trying to poke the ball free, but made some contact. And Franklin, right back to what seemed their bread and butter in that second quarter and the first half, really, Sam, getting to the free throw line and whittling this lead down 1 by 1.
That's right. McSweeney went to the line once in the last quarter, but missed both free throw attempts. But she puts home the first one here.
And the good old reverse announcer's jinx.
There we go. Love those. And the second one off the mark. Rebound by Taryn Campbell, who went over the back of Tracy. Campbell taking it all herself. The left-handed layup, no good. McCallum, the great outlet pass. Tracy all alone, and the layup falls off the rim. Rebound by Taunton. What a job by Mia Torres getting back for the Tigers.
Yeah, once again, the speed and hustle of Torres really making a difference. We saw in the first half she made a play on the ball to force a turnover. Another turnover right here, but altering the shot. So Franklin, no harm, no foul, I guess, to get the ball right back.
That's true, and doesn't seem like much has changed since that first half. Still a quick pace, still some giveaways, some free throws already, a little bit of everything, right?
A little mixed bag.
Yeah. Here's McSweeney along the baseline. Picks up her dribble at the right block, kicks it up to McCallum. Her 3 grazes the front of the rim, and Taunton has it going the other way. Torres over to Callie Mello. Drives inside. The right-handed layup is good.
Acrobatic finish from Mello right there. She has kind of been there.
By Malamina in the far corner.
And how big is that contest by Mia Torres right there? Almost a 4-point swing, Sam. Franklin with a chance to make it a 6-point game, make it their closest deficit since the first quarter, but unable to convert, and now Taunton back to double digits.
Callie Mello, the ball handler. Bounce pass over for Jillian Doherty, and that pass intercepted at the left elbow by Kira McSweeney. Pass to a wide open Fails. The 3 ball, good! It's money from Chloe Fails, who knocks down her second triple of the contest.
She had all day to fire, doesn't hesitate. And the Panthers now within 7, again, inching closer and closer by the minute.
With that 3 ball, Fails is up to 10 points, the first double-digit score for the Panthers. Franklin didn't have a double-digit score in Tuesday's loss against South right here at Franklin High. Chelsea Bousquet slows down the offense. Top of the key, it's Callie Mello, who passes out to Jillian Doherty. A scramble for possession. McCallum digs it out, but she's called for a travel.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, that's a backbreaker, because not only did Franklin get the turnover, the shot clock was expiring, Sam. So even if the Panthers didn't take over possession, they could have got the ball back via shot clock violation.
Big call there, and the layup good. Jillian Doherty over the back of McCallum, and that's a big moment in this game.
Yeah, that is huge right there.
And it was interesting because Mike Adler made the call. He was the official on the far side. Mike Brennan was the official closest to that apparent travel by McCallum. McSweeney dribbles into the lane and draws the foul against Jillian Doherty. She's up to 3.
Yeah, Doherty, one of Taunton's best players. Oh, they're calling on a Mello, but that would be her 4th, Sam.
You're right. I beg your pardon. So it is against Mello, and she is up to 4. Wow. She has 6 points tonight, and she had 13 points in Taunton's last game. And McSweeney knocks down the first attempt.
Yeah, McSweeney getting into the groove at the free throw line. This will be the 4th one she's shot in the quarter, trying to go 3 for 4.
She's 2 for 5 on the night. Trying to make that 3 for 6 right here. Not quite. Scramble for the rebound, and it's secured by the Tigers. And if I heard correctly, the great PA announcer Kevin Papa gave an update on the boys game, and I believe he said Franklin was up big 70-40 that game at Taunton.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. The boys off to a red-hot start this season. Their only loss taking place in the tournament they played down in Florida over the holiday break, so great to hear that.
And how about Taryn Campbell? She collected her own miss. The second time's a charm, and she's up to 10 points.
Yeah, it seems like Taunton really has different players that can step up here.
3 ball from Fales. She can't do it again this time, but an offensive board. McSweeney swooped in for Franklin. 10-point ball game. Sasha Tracy weaves in, puts up the shot, but the foul is on the floor. And that's against Chelsea Bousquet, her 3rd.
Yeah, a lot of these key players for Taunton getting into some foul trouble, Sam. We have Mello with 4, Doherty with 3, I believe, or still at 2?
Still at 2,
Still
yes.
at 2, and then Bousquet now at 3.
Right. Something to keep an eye on for sure. McSweeney swivels to the left block, but couldn't get it to go. A tough miss there, and Taunton's flying the other way. McCallum draws the charge, and that's another on Bousquet. She commits 2 fouls in about a 15-second span, and she's up to 4.
Well, that determination and heart by Franklin on display yet again. They've already faced injured players, and there McCallum putting her body on the line, heads to the ground, and draws the offensive foul.
And a timeout called by Taunton coach Gretchen Rodriguez. I'll tell you what, it was a 9-point Taunton lead at the half. It's a 10-point game now, but you can still feel the energy. Franklin is keeping this game within reach. All it takes really is a little bit of a run, and all of a sudden we could be talking about a 2-3 possession game.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of opportunities to cut that lead, which have just been so short. Open looks near the basket, inside the paint, which have seemed to just rim out. So Franklin needs to keep playing their game. It seems like they're finally establishing something resembling a rhythm right here, and they're playing hard. You love to see it.
So game number 5 of the season for Franklin, who basically had a hiatus there.
Yeah.
They didn't play any games over that Christmas break. Usually we're accustomed to them playing a game or two, sometimes in a holiday tournament, which Taunton partook in, taking on Holliston and Durfee, a 2- and a 3-point victory respectively on the 27th and 28th of December. But yeah, there was 13 days between games for Franklin, between that 40-38 win, or rather 60-43 loss against Foxborough, and then Tuesday's 66-36 loss against South. So the Panthers kind of getting back in the groove of things after that almost 2-week break.
Yeah, a bit of that rust was apparent in that game we called against South High just a couple of days ago. It seemed like they were really figuring some things out, but some of those pieces getting back into place here in this game, which is good to see.
And Franklin has been playing from behind throughout, but they're still certainly in it. A 3-ball well short from Malamina, and Taunton slows it down the other way. Mia Torres, the ball handler, or rather Madison Crowley, the ball handler. She's getting her first minutes as Jillian Doherty is defended by McCallum. Taryn Campbell, spin move, Tracy face guarding her. It's out to Crowley, over to the right wing, Torres. Lefty dribble into the lane, and she walked before the shot. Mike Brennan made the call. The basket doesn't count.
Yep, that was an apparent call right there. Torres just took a little bit too much time thinking about whether she wanted to get that jump shot or not. Took some steps and Franklin forcing those turnovers, still within 10. We'll see if they can capitalize.
Under 3 minutes left in the third, 34-24, the Taunton lead. Screen set by McSweeney. Tracy drives in, and a foul called on Aaliyah Year.
Yep, what else is new? That was Year's second right there, but, you know, sound like a broken record at this point. The Panthers driving inside, drawing the foul, and finding themselves at the free throw line.
And that's the first missed free throw by Sasha Tracy tonight. She was 4 for 4 before that shot.
Yeah, Tracy was seemingly one of the Panthers leading the way in the free throw shooting. Perfect on the night up to that point, and she misses the second.
It's stolen right back. Unbelievable. The lead pass by Torres had too much heat on it, and the pass from Year goes out of bounds. My goodness, we're going at the speed of light in the pond.
Yeah. We talked about the game kind of grinding to a stop in that second quarter. Well, it has flown along here in this third. A lot of great plays to see.
There's just those spurts once in a while in the pond where chaos breaks out, really. McSweeney out to Tracy. Good look from three, but it's off the mark. An air ball from the senior.
Yeah, it looked good from this angle right here. It looked like she got it online, but Franklin's still not able to find that shooting stretch.
Torres sets up the offense, defended by Fales. Over to the left wing, it's Campbell, who's guarded by Malamina. She makes a move to get by her, and the lefty layup won't go. Rebound by McSweeney, who gets out of the jam as she finds Fales, who advances into the front court with 2 minutes left in the third. Left wing, Malamina. Screen set by McSweeney. Malamina, risky pass. It got through to McSweeney. Fernandez open look. The shot off back iron, and the rebound secured by Jillian Doherty.
Yeah, Miss McSweeney was open on the roll right there. If Malamina could have just found her a bit earlier, Franklin could have had themselves an easy two.
The opportunities have been there for Franklin. Panthers just unable to capitalize in this third quarter. 85 seconds left in the third. Torres driving in, and she swung it from behind. Chloe Fales said not today.
Again, the Panther defense not giving up an inch of space to Taunton right there. Trying to reestablish themselves in the post, but a great hustle play by Chloe Fales to swat it away.
Couple of substitutions. Lena Malamina and Sasha Tracy take a seat. Nora McCallum and Claire Lakota come into the game. Madison Crowley guarded by Fernandez. Passed out to the right corner. Drive inside. The reverse layup is true. It's beautiful from Taryn Campbell, who's up to 12 points.
What a play by Campbell. She just speeded like a dart along that baseline, and then no hesitation went up with a reverse layup, and it was pure.
The sophomore making a big impact tonight. Taunton leads by a dozen, and McCallum traveled. A big collision down at the left block. She collided with Year, but took too many steps.
Yeah, Year doing a great job to, make it uncomfortable for McCallum without committing the foul, and that leads to the turnover.
Look at this pass. It's almost a hospital ball, but it gets through. And Year pulls up mid-range. That's well short. Last touched by the Tigers. What a sequence there.
Hey, for 1 second when it was on the ground, I thought it might be a turnover, but then Doherty able to catch up with it.
Yeah.
We had chaos on the other end once more.
And it's interesting to see Taunton rushing on offense at times because they're the ones with the 12-point lead.
They can really command themselves here.
Right. McCallum, great look off the mark, and it's last touched by Fernandez on the battle for the rebound. The shot clock is dark with 30 seconds left in the third.
Yeah, again, those opportunities for Franklin right there for the taking, just inches off. And that's really been the difference between the game we have right here and Franklin being closer.
And a blocking foul call on McSweeney as Campbell was driving in, and nothing was going to stop her except for vulnerable Kira McSweeney, who commits her fourth foul.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's number 4 for her. So she is going to have to be really careful in the final period of play for Franklin.
And the bank open there for Campbell on her first free throw.
Yeah, seems like she's finding new ways to score every time she touches the ball.
That's exactly right. She's up to 13 points, 3 for 5 at the charity stripe. And make that 4 for 6. Taunton leads by 14. 25 seconds remain in the third quarter. Chloe Fales backs up, finds Fernandez. The freshman down to the baseline with Fales. Back up top. It swung to the right wing with Lakota, and she was indecisive. It leads to a travel.
Yeah, Sophie Pacheco right there. Just checked into the game. Didn't seem like she had an idea of what to do and cost the Franklin Panthers a possession.
Yes, it was Pacheco with the walk, and Mia Torres has it knocked out of bounds. It remains with the Tigers, 8 to shoot. 8 left in the quarter.
They just have to limit the bleeding right here. Franklin cannot afford to give a basket in these final 8 seconds.
Campbell gets the return pass, gets into the lane, and through traffic draws a defensive foul on Nora McCallum. The basket doesn't count. No continuation there. It is on the floor.
Yeah, I was thinking for a second, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It would have been the Taryn Campbell show here in the third quarter if
yeah.
they counted that one.
And Taunton not in the bonus. There's only been 2 fouls on Franklin this quarter, actually. 4 seconds left in the quarter, and it doesn't matter. There is the aforementioned Taryn Campbell who lays it in as the time bleeds out in the third quarter. The Tigers take off here in the third, outscore the Panthers by 7 in the frame, and all of a sudden that deficit is not an easy one to overcome for Franklin with 8 minutes to play.
Yeah, Franklin found themselves close. They had it down to 7 midway through this third quarter, but then Taunton seemed to kick it into another gear, led by Taryn Campbell. She knew what she wanted to do going to the basket, and she had those points which really make a difference down the stretch. What seemed like a close game, now it's going to take a lot out of Franklin to claw themselves back in.
Yeah, and it seemed for at least the last 2 quarters when Franklin was facing that 10-point deficit or thereabout, that to get back into the game, they needed to keep on driving, earning some trips to the line, making those layups, which they've been doing for the most part in terms of getting to the line. Obviously, you'd like that free throw percentage to be a little bit higher, and some of those layups, 50-50 layups, haven't gone the way of the Panthers, but at this stage now trailing by 16 upon, even though it's not a strong suit of theirs, I think we're going to start needing to see some shots from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
Chloe Fales has been that one player who's been hot with the 2 triples Franklin has converted. Maybe get her open on some screens, and at this point, you got to throw it all out there for Franklin if you want to come back.
The defense has done its job. Now it's up to the offense to respond and make those shots.
All right, we go to the fourth quarter. Taunton trying to make a bit of history here, and it's off to you, Nippon, to see if that history happens.
Thank you so much, Sam. Taunton Tigers 8 minutes away from a monumental victory here in Franklin. Trying to complete the job. The Panthers trying to have something to say about that. On the first possession, passes batted away from Naomina and fails. Trying to tear it away from a swarm of Tigers. Forces a jump ball. Possession error does belong to Taunton. So the Tigers will take over rather quickly. Not to start the Franklin envision to this fourth.
And we'll see that full court press throughout the entirety of the quarter by Franklin, trying to make Taunton uncomfortable into those turnovers.
It'll be all hands on deck. Mello steps back for a shot, no good. Nice box up by McSweeney. She tracks down the rebound and finds Fales.
McSweeney still out there with 4 fouls.
You might see her. Fales pulls up for a jump shot. That hits front iron. McSweeney again gets the rebound, puts it up, can't get it to go, hits the deck. Wow, Kira McSweeney everywhere on the floor, going hard with 4 fouls, just unable to get that basket. McCallum falls down again, step back 3, no good. And Torres tracks it down. We have that rapid fire pace again we've seen for spurts, Sam. Torres, corner 3, no good. And now McCallum will slow it down for just a little bit. And right away, Coach Layton calls a timeout, as we have just about a minute shaved off of here. No points scored in the fourth. We'll see how he changes the strategy for this Franklin team.
Yeah, bodies flying everywhere. More of a continuation of what we've seen. But I think that's a smart timeout from head coach John Layton, because you're right. That was a quick pace all of a sudden, a little bit frantic. And as much as that sometimes plays into the hands of Franklin, there haven't really been many opportunities in transition per se for the Panthers. Both teams have been doing a good job to begin this quarter of getting back defensively. That's why we haven't seen any points yet in the fourth. So for Franklin, I think it will go to their advantage to just calm down a little bit, slow things down, and work on setting up plays to get some good open looks.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, as you said, Sam, that was evident even on that last offensive possession for Franklin.
Right.
McSweeney able to track down the offensive rebound, went up with it perhaps a bit too frantically, a bit too quickly. That resulted in Franklin not being able to convert at the basket. If they take their time right here, even though time is limited, they can get those shots in and really make this hard on Taunton.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, it's tough deficit at 16 to overcome, but don't worry about the clock at this stage.
Yep.
The time shouldn't be a factor until about 4 minutes left. Work on these possessions to maybe make it a 10-point game and work from there.
Kaylee Fernandez enters the game for Franklin. She inbounds it to Sasha Tracy as we enter 6:50 to play. Fernandez has it on the far wing. Now tries to bounce it to McSweeney, but Doherty was right there for the steal. Callie Mello D'd up by Fernandez. Taunton looking to run some time off this thing now. In control, up by 16. Doherty with the bank, and now the Tigers up by 18. 42-24. Fales trying to respond. Torres with ferocious defense on Fales. Fernandez calls for a screen. She rolls, takes it to the hoop, and scores. Nice take by Kaylee Fernandez, and a nice answer.
And that's exactly what Franklin needs to do. Get those looks from close to the basket.
Taryn Campbell dribbles into open space. She really stole the show in the third quarter, making some big shots to give the Tigers the lead they have right now. Mello to the hoop, and an offensive foul. That is Mello's fifth.
Yes.
So she might be done right here.
She should be. Yeah, that's it.
Doherty giving her a hug. She will walk to the sideline, and her night is done. A huge blow to Taunton right there. Callie Mello, one of their leaders on the offensive side.
Yep. Sorry to cut you off there, Napoleon.
No worries. Finish your point.
No, I was just going to say Callie Mello, senior, she was the leading scorer for this team last year as a junior, had 6 points tonight. Maybe not her best offensive performance, but still a big loss down the stretch.
Coach Rodriguez immediately after Mello exited, brought her players to the huddle, tried to get them to regroup, have a quick memory, and remind them that this is still their game to lose.
Absolutely. Still a 16-point Taunton lead. No reason for the Tigers to panic. Even without Mello, we've seen the depth this roster has.
Aaliyah Year enters the game for Taunton, and a travel right there by Tracy. Tracy pleading her case, saying that the ball was deflected, but Mike Adler saw otherwise, and the Panthers with another very costly turnover.
Certainly appeared as though it was deflected out of the hands of Tracy. Just an unfortunate call there. But Franklin has to keep its foot on the gas. Again, you hit the nail on the head. Defensively, there's been no issues for the Panthers, so continue to lock in that department.
Torres has it on the corner. Tries to take it herself. Again, Chloe Fales erasing the shot and saying no.
A block machine has been Chloe Fales tonight. And this crowd loving what they're seeing from the junior who we were talking about Mello leading Taunton in scoring last year. Fales didn't lead the Panthers, but scored nearly 11 points a game last year and is the only returning starter for this Franklin team.
Yeah, the only one with a lot of varsity experience as they're bumping in and through contact. Once again, Taryn Campbell finishing the basket and reestablishing an 18-point lead for Taunton.
And she has 18 points as well. What a night for her.
A hallmark night for Taryn Campbell. Could be a hallmark night for the Taunton Tigers right now. McSweeney trying to spin inside, through contact. McSweeney, a sweet finish. Franklin finally starting to see those baskets go in offensively, but you wonder if it might be too little too late. Torres telling her teammates she's going to hold it for a little bit to take their time. 4:40 on the game clock. Driving inside is Bousquet. It looked like McCallum got a piece of that, and Franklin has another possession. Fernandez left with space. She dribbles around it. McSweeney inside. Thought about the jump shot, and she traveled as well. Another costly turnover. McSweeney just trying to do too much. And the Panthers will turn to their bench once more. Malmina checked out for a quick second, and she will come back in for Nora McCallum, who seems to be a bit shaken up after that possession.
Right, yeah, McCallum just moments ago took that shot to the nose, it appeared, and she might even be bleeding.
Doherty cross-court pass deflected away by Tracy. Yeah. Both of these teams will be battered and bruised going in post-game.
And no matter how this game finishes, it has to be an exciting rematch later on in the season when these teams meet at Taunton.
Absolutely. Torres has it. Guarded up by McSweeney. Nice press applied. And it looked like we have a timeout. Smart timeout. Seemed like the Tigers were getting a bit indecisive on the offensive end, so Coach Rodriguez bails them out right there with 18 on the shot clock and 4:07 left to play here in the fourth.
The Tigers they were moving backwards, really, approaching that midcourt line. The last thing you want if you're Taunton is a silly turnover in the case of a potential backcourt violation there. So a very smart timeout called by the passionate second-year head coach for Taunton, Gretchen Rodriguez. And as we brought up earlier in the telecast, Napon, it's nothing official, but we do believe that Taunton is on the verge of its first ever victory over Franklin in the history of the two programs meeting, which is really remarkable.
Yeah, we could see history being made tonight. What a step it would be for this basketball program for Taunton. What a step it would be for Coach Rodriguez, who just in her second year has really turned things around for Taunton. The Tigers not seeing any playoff action in this entire last decade.
Yeah.
Now they were on the verge of a 7-0 undefeated start, really putting themselves in the driver's seat to unseat Franklin for that Kelly Rex throne.
It's really remarkable. You look at 3 years ago, 0-10. 2 years ago, 4-16. Last year, 5-15. Not great at math, but in those last 3 years, 9 wins combined, and all of a sudden, they're 2 wins away from equaling their win total over the last 3 years, and we're only 7 games into the season. It's unbelievable.
We'll see if they can finish that right here as we enter the final 4 minutes to play. Doherty lost control of it. Franklin keeps it alive on the baseline. Nice steal by Malamina, and now Kira McSweeney has it as she crosses the midcourt line. Chloe fails back to McSweeney. Out to Malamina. Franklin going to have to work quickly here. Fails thought about the three. Now drives inside, kicks in the corner, and we do have a foul called on the floor. Foul called on Mia Torres.
And considering that's, but Napon, considering that was just the second foul of the quarter, it's not the worst foul to take there for Taunton. To just set up defensively.
Fails inbounds into a wide open Tracy, forgoes the three, drives inside, can't finish the layup. McSweeney tracks down another offensive rebound. She's been a magnet in this quarter so far. McSweeney has it in the corner. Out to Fernandez. Fernandez points to a screen. She gets it from Malamina. Now Malamina back. Malamina left it a little too strong. Right to Fails, and she banks it up and in. Chloe Fails, a nice finish. Franklin has it down to 14 with 3 minutes to play. Franklin applying the press. Malamina almost poked it free from Doherty. It's deflected. Doherty and enters it to Campbell. In the corner they go. Straight away a three. Air ball, but it finds Campbell, and we finally have a foul to stop play. Wow, what a crazy few seconds.
A wild few seconds. It went from a near steal by Franklin to an air ball three by Taunton, but who else but Campbell underneath to continue the possession, and that was the fourth foul on Malamina.
Campbell below, can't finish, gets her second chance, and this time she puts it up and in. Taryn Campbell, never sleeping.
Nope.
And she's able to get a huge bucket for Taunton.
She had 18 in the last game for Taunton. She surpassed that with 20 tonight.
The offensive general, Malamina trying to get a three back. She can't do so. McSweeney, another tip back to Fails. McSweeney, nice move, deflected away. Out to Tracy. Malamina, now Franklin still playing hard here with 2.5 minutes to go. Nice take with the Euro, the finish, and a timeout, Franklin. The Panthers finally awakening on the offensive end, Sam. You really got to appreciate their hustle and effort they've put in. There might not be enough time to complete the comeback, but this could be something good to build on as we approach the later stages of this season.
I agree, because that right there was arguably one of the best offensive possessions of the game, if not the best. Just the way they moved the ball around swiftly, no one panicking, good spacing on the floor, and then Malamina with a nice drive to the mid-range, and then the floater, just a pure shot right there. That's what I like to see from the Panthers because, again, even with the deficit that they face, you want a building block. And three-point shooting obviously isn't their strong suit, so it's opportunities like that with those mid-range shots that if Franklin can get better at those type of opportunities, and never mind the physical play underneath trying to finish layups, all of a sudden you could have a more consistent offense because as we listen to the final score in the boys game from the PA announcer, Kevin Papa. So Franklin boys basketball did get the win. But as I was saying, Napon, because offensive production has been an issue for this team, I mentioned it, they're averaging fewer than 40 points a game, just 32 so far today. So if they can get a little better on the offensive end of the floor, that could go a long way because the defense has been solid.
Yeah, another thing we've noticed on the offensive end is Franklin's lack of size and how that's played. And wow, that's a costly mistake right there, a turnover intended for Mia Torres. The Tigers give it right back after a timeout. Not what they wanted to do, trying to close this thing up, but Franklin has another possession.
The Tigers play at such a high intensity that they almost don't know how to slow down a bit.
Tracy trying to take it inside. Tracy through contact, can't finish. Rebound goes to Fails. Now it's back out to Fernandez. On the wing, a three for McSweeney, no good. Still fighting for the rebound as Fails. Can't throw it off, and it finally bounces off a Panther and will belong to Taunton.
All in all, some decent looks on that possession. I mean, McSweeney's three on that left wing, she was pretty open. That wasn't a bad try at all.
Nearly charging in for the steal right there was Fails on Bousquet. Instead, they find Doherty as we enter the final 2 minutes. Taunton leading it 46-32. Trying to make history here in Franklin. Torres moves along the way, and another timeout by Rodriguez. She senses that, you know, as you said, that really breakneck speed this offense plays at, and she's just going to remind them one more time, hey guys, let's slow things down. We have plenty of time. We're almost there. The finish line is in sight. Let's see this one through.
Yeah, with 1:48 left in this game, you're exactly right. She's just going to tell her team, hey, we got a 35-second shot clock to work with here. Let's slow it down and bleed out this clock because you're right. The Tigers are so close and on the verge of victory. But I also respect, you know, that timeout from head coach Gretchen Rodriguez because in reality she could have let things play out here. I mean, at this point it'd be a miraculous comeback for Franklin, but she knows, you know, this is a well-coached Panthers team by John Layton. Anything can happen. She's had plenty of experience between her playing days, coaching days, and she knows she has to coach the full 32 minutes, and she found this as a prime opportunity to kind of have her team regroup in this moment.
And it's moments like that where you see why this Taunton team has, you know, turned their whole culture around so in such a quick time span. Really, the attention to detail by Coach Rodriguez and the belief she has in her players that they are capable of taking down a team which has historically dominated them. They're on the verge of doing so right here. Torres to inbound it. Gets it in to Campbell. She falls down, takes a bump from McCallum. This might be the cleanest quarter we've seen in for the bonus. They'll inbound it. New shot clock as well. Pulling up for three, however, almost getting the bank is no good. And Franklin will break out once more, still playing hard as we near the final 90 seconds. Fails back to Fernandez. Fernandez kicks in the corner. Tracy open three, good! Sasha Tracy finally sees one go through, and the Panthers have it down to 11. Coach Layton screaming for them to tip it. The Tigers barely get it in. Now Doherty fumbles it away. Franklin has it with a minute to go. Tracy on the fast break. Fernandez through contact. She banks it in. It's a 9-point game all of a sudden.
We're not done yet, Napon.
Yep, some fireworks maybe here as two Panthers collide right there on the inbound. Crossing over is Bousquet. Finds Campo looking to slow things down. Only a minute left to go. Taunton just trying to hold on to it and not turn it over. McSweeney getting in there, and she got in there just a bit too late as Adler saw some contact and calls the foul.
And that's going to be it for Kira McSweeney. if I'm not mistaken, she's been in the entire fourth quarter playing with four fouls. So credit to her for staying disciplined for that long. But that is her fifth, and you can't really blame her in this moment of desperation. At least I think that, that's her fifth. They're confirming that at the scores table. Yep, the referee letting Coach Layton know. McSweeney's staying out there till she's officially notified that, that's it.
Yeah, well, let's just think, Malmina getting ready to check in, and it might not be the result Franklin wanted, but that was a heroic effort we saw from Kira McSweeney tonight. Taking a big blow early in the game, coming back to play, and she was all over the place, making game-changing plays for this Panthers team. Tigers inbound it, nearly losing it once more, and another timeout. Coach Rodriguez really can see it, can see the finish, but the Tigers trying to tighten things up here in the final minute.
Right, Rodriguez wasting no time. Literally 1 second coming off the clock after that inbounds pass. She's not taking any gambles here, and understandably so. I mean, it's down to a single-digit game all of a sudden, which is crazy to think about because you had that Tracy three and then that Fernandez bucket in transition. By the way, that three from Tracy was her first field goal of the game, unbelievably so. All her 4 points before that were from the line. So all of a sudden there was that spark from the Panthers, and you never know again. There's been a lot of turnovers in this game. Another steal could lead to a three in transition, and we're talking about a two-possession game to punt. So anything can happen. I know we've seen crazy things over the years here at Franklin TV.
Yeah. Coach Layton coaching his players up, saying, don't throw in the towel just yet. We are playing until there are 3 zeros on that clock right there. And Coach Rodriguez probably saying something along the same line. Don't let up just right now. We need to see it through.
And Franklin still has to commit 2 more fouls before Taunton is in the bonus, something to keep in mind.
This is Torres to inbound it. High pass intercepted. It's picked off by Nora McCallum. Down the other way for Franklin, and she draws the foul. My goodness. We're not done yet, Sam.
We're not. I said it a minute ago. It's been a game of a lot of turnovers. You can't count anything out in a game like this. And these are massive free throws for McCallum. She has no points, no trips to the line either so far.
Interesting to see first attempt for Norma McCallum. And she swishes it. It's an 8-point game with 42.7 seconds to go. Second one rims out, fight for the rebound. 2 Panthers had a chance to get it, Malmina and Tracy, but they can't corral it in. It goes out of bounds.
Oh, close call there. So close to an offensive rebound.
Another clean inbound, finally corralled in. And now another fumble. It's off a Tiger. It's Franklin ball. Can you believe this?
I can't. It was knocked off the leg of Taryn Campbell, and this is unbelievable. 37 seconds, a lot of time in basketball in the pond.
Fails to inbound it. We'll see what Franklin draws up. It was a contested pass into traffic. It's still on the floor, and it finds Bousquet, who gets ran into by Franklin, and a foul is committed.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
That's a tough one there, and Coach Layton decided to hold on to those final 2 timeouts he has. Perhaps that was an opportunity to draw up a play on that inbounds pass, get an open look from 3, but Franklin, just not on the same page there.
Here's another inbound ton, seeming to dodge a bullet. And it seemed like, was she out of bounds when she caught it?
It was either that, or did Gretchen Rodriguez signal for a timeout when Taunton doesn't have any, which would result in a turnover? I don't know.
That's possible. Well, Franklin has it again. Under 30 seconds to play, down 8. They got to get something going quick here. Fails to the basket. Rejected! Jill Doherty waved the finger and said no.
She's been a block machine tonight, and she's not slowing down in the late stages.
Shot clock turned off now, 24 seconds to play. Fails, inbounding at Franklin, still with 2 timeouts. Tracy felt contact, no foul call, and the rebound goes to Bousquet. Outlet pass to her teammate, corralled in, and a foul called. Oh my goodness, what a finish it has been. Franklin not giving up, the chances have been there. And now finally, as Franklin commits its 5th foul of the quarter, Taunton will shoot free throws. And a chance to put this game on ice.
Yep. Golden opportunity to put it away. I do believe that was the 4th on number of players in foul trouble tonight with all the physical play.
Free throw still missed by Aaliyah Year.
She's 0 for 3 at the line now.
All Tigers, none of them in the lane. All of them are backed up, anticipating a Franklin surge right here as both free throws are missed. And here come the Panthers. As we enter the final stages, Tracy does get the contact, so she will shoot 2 with 10.2 seconds to play. And Coach Layton calls his players in the huddle, trying to drop something. You wonder if he's trying to get them positioned for a potential offensive rebound if Tracy is to miss the second free throw.
Yeah, I believe that's definitely what he's relaying to his players. And Chelsea Bousquet has fouled out, with that foul being her 5th.
Tracy misses another. She started out perfect, 4 for 4. She's missed her last 3.
And all of a sudden, you're in a scenario where maybe you go for an intentional miss here in a fight for the rebound.
We'll see. Tracy does miss, but we may have had a lane violation, I believe, and Tracy will be able to shoot one more. Yeah, lane violation by Taunton.
And I still think it's the same scenario, though, where if you're Tracy, you're trying to intentionally miss this one.
Tracy puts it in.
All right.
So Franklin cuts to the 7. Only 10 seconds to play. Inbound nearly taken away by Malmina. Franklin having to commit a foul, and it's out of bounds. Oh, it's Franklin ball. The Panthers not giving up. Still 7-point game, 6.8 seconds to go.
Coach Layton not calling a timeout here.
2 timeouts left for Franklin. They will not take one right now. They get it in with 5 seconds. Tracy to the basket, can't bank it in, gets her own rebound. That's rejected. The clock will hit triple zeros, and that will do it. The Taunton Tigers, a massive win. The first win against Franklin in program history, and they will move to 7-0 on the season. What a performance. Franklin gave it their all down the line, tried to make it close, but it wasn't enough. And the Tigers take a big step forward for their program, winning this one 46-39.
This is massive. Taunton came into this game with a 6-0 record, but you say, okay, you know, they haven't had any huge tests yet. And obviously, it's been a frustrating start to the season for Franklin, but it's still Franklin, the 5-time in a row, 5-time consecutive Kelly Rex Division champions, I should say. The Panthers looking for a 6th in a row, but all of a sudden, the Tigers come in and have something to say about that. It's still a tough challenge, and Taunton came in and they took control from the start. You got to give credit to the Tigers because from the get-go, they took the lead. Franklin was always playing for behind, and you absolutely have to give credit to the Panthers for fighting until that buzzer in the 4th quarter. I expect nothing less from a team led by head coach John Layton. And in the end, Franklin came close. They came close to pulling this off somehow. Definitely made things interesting, but Taunton had enough composure down the final stretch. Again, it wasn't pretty by any means this game, but it was a gritty win for the Tigers, who are now 7-0, one of the best starts they've had in their program's history. And certainly when we've been alive and all of these players have been alive. And this is something that Taunton is sure to build off of. I mean, the Tigers 7-0, that hasn't been said in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's got to feel good for these Taunton players walking off the court knowing that they made history tonight, as you said, finding themselves. And you wonder if in those final few minutes, Franklin may have found an identity for themselves as well. They played really well in those final minutes, almost making the comeback, and it might be something to build off on.
I definitely think it will be because we mentioned it earlier. There was about a 2-week break there where Franklin didn't play. So all of a sudden, they're starting to get back into the groove of things. Coach Layton described those games before the break as sort of a preseason, and this is like a second opportunity to revamp and get going. And you could see how much it meant to Taunton getting this win on this court. The Franklin players won't forget that. This was a physical game, and this is the beauty of playing in-division opponents because for the Panthers, they'll get a second crack of it back at Taunton's place in a few weeks. And so it's still a long season to go. Of course, it's been frustrating for Franklin now dropping to 1-4, but the Panthers can use that end of the game, that fourth quarter, the fight they showed, to give them some motivation going forward for not only the rematch against Taunton, but the big Hockomock games they have coming up on the schedule.
Well, that'll do it for us on Franklin TV. We thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for this great time we had. For my partner, Sam Reese, and our great director, producer, and camera operator, Chris Leverone, I'm Nippon Guo saying thank you for watching. So long,